Hi everyone, how are you? Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi to all of you. I think the signal is fine today, so I hope you are listening well. So, if you want to know I how am I? So today, um, down here, I'm feeling fine, but I am headache today, very headache, and um, well, um, I have never had so much pain in different parts of my body since I don't know many times. So I guess I don't know. I'm feeling older. I don't know, or I have been working too much with my inner self this physical week. So so I went so deep that I took everything out, and that's it. So we only have 3 more days of Scorpio. So let's go to the topic for today, which is pressure. So when we speak about pressure, most of us can feel can perceive that this is something that really hurts us, that is really bad for us because we don't like to live under pressure. But the reality is that we are constantly under pressure. The reality itself exists because of pressure. And this is why it's important to understand, to be aware of what pressure means in existence, so we could know how to handle it and how to understand its purpose. So, the main image that we have to acknowledge to understand pressure is to go back as we have always pictured the origin of the universe. The universe expressed itself, okay, from within towards the outside. And when it does this, it is the inner and the negative aspect of the universe expressing itself outside to project in the positive. And then the positive is willing to go back as the heartbeat towards the inside. This means that the negative is looking for the positive outside, and the positive is looking for the negative inside. This creates what we call the magnetism. Magnetism, where the positive and the negative are trying to get together. So the negative is trying to express in the outside, and the positive is trying to integrate in the inside of the negative. So when this happens, the negative and the positive are trying to be together. So they create like this friction that creates energy trying to match one between the other. So with this, they create a third force, which is the creation itself. This is why positive and negative are the polarity that helps the universe exist. These two forces, positive and negative, are looking each other in order to integrate, one trying to express, the other one trying to integrate itself. And these two, by force, by pressure, they create the third aspect, which is the creation itself. So this pressure is the one that allows the universe to exist. So this positive and negative, the positive and the negative, when they start to move, they create waves of vibration. So when this vibration starts to move faster and faster by frequencies, different frequencies, it creates a particle. And the particle is a conjunction of different frequencies, of different vibrations in frequency. Okay, expressed in frequencies. So okay, there are many things in the middle, of course, but let's go to the most known of all, which is when we have this particle, we have this particle in negative, an electron, and then we have the proton as the positive. So they attract each other in order to be, okay, together. These particles starts to join together to try to find balance in between positive and negative, constantly trying to put all together, okay, again, to try to mix the energies. With this energy, they change different types of positive and negative in between the different atoms, creating molecules. And the molecules are the ones starting to create matter, okay? So these particles that creates atoms, that creates molecules, that creates chemicals, the matter, they also are the ones that will create the structures of reality, that will create the structures of life. So the main four that we will have in order to talk about life will be oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon. Those are the main four to create life. So these four are just some of the most important, but they are not only in our bodies, they are not only in our biological bodies, they are in everything. They are connected in they are in the stars, in the sun, and they are everywhere. So to understand this, these are the main structures that were designed and created when the energy was trying to press in the very beginning. So in the very beginning, all the pressure of all this positive and negative creating these elements was so huge. The pressure was so huge that immediately it created neutrality in the middle and exploded. And that's what we call the Big Bang, the Great Explosion. So basically the energetical world compress itself so much that give birth to the physical world. So thanks to the pressure of the mental reality appears the energetical reality, and thanks to the pressure of the of the energetical reality we have the physical reality. So basically the universe exists due to the pressure of dimensions. So all the dimensions pressing the universe is the one creating the physical reality. Imagine this: we are vibration and energy that is being compressed. So we are all that compressed. That's why we exist. What would happen if we just spread and the dimensions stop to put their pressures on us? It spread and spread and spread, and suddenly we start to see the light and we disappear. We just stop being compressed by the universe. And that's what we call enlightenment. Enlightenment is when all your particles just separate each other throughout all the dimensions. That's what happened when you get enlightened. So this is kind of like taking out all the magic of enlightenment, but it's another point of view, of course, to understand what happened and how it happens. So the reason why the universe is trying to compress everything is because when it compressed the reality, the universe is able to see what is imagining in the mind, and also is able to feel what is seeing, and is able to live what is feeling. Okay, so as much compressed it is, as much pressure it has, we are able to perceive more and more specific points of the universe. This is why the universe generates a system of pressure. So pressure allows a black hole to create a galaxy to create stars, stars to create planets, planets to create life. Life goes back to the planet goes back to the stars go back to the galaxy, and the galaxy goes back to the black hole. So by pressure we exist because a star explodes because of the pressure that it feels. And then by pressure of gravity it starts to move all back again to the core. There are many other factors of why this is happening, but we will speak about that in other moments. Let's picture these two words, sharp and acute. It's sharp. We call sharp like gravity. The origin of Latin of gravity means sharp. Okay, so something that is sharp is like going low in vibration, like, and the opposite, acute, it goes up. These two different vibrations, if we picture it like vibration, like sound, like music, so we would understand that gravity is to going down, okay, and the opposite will be to go up with an acute sound. So the explosion would be the acute in expression, and then going back would be gravity, which is the low vibration. So we usually think that gravity, the low vibration, is going down. We think that it's going down, but it's not going down. It's to go to the center by a spiral of movement. Okay, so so it doesn't mean to go down. The only reason why we call gravity the concept of going down is because from our point of view, the force that is pushing us to the center is below. So that's why we call it to go down, because that's how we perceive it, but it's not what is really happening. Okay, so what we call to go down, which is gravity, is thinking that we are going into a low vibration, going down, something that is severe. Okay, but for the universe there is no below. For the universe doesn't exist the concept of below. This is from our point of view that we call gravity severe, something that is bringing us down. The reason why for us gravity and the concept of going in a low vibration is something bad, why pressure, to be pressed, is something wrong, is because for us to be pressed, to feel the pressure of gravity going down, means to humiliate ourselves, to go under someone, to put yourself in a lower status. Okay, so from our point of view, the pressure is related to oppression, is related to the concept of being under someone. Por esto tenemos una connotación de negatividad en relación, en relación a lo que es la presión y al ir hacia abajo. This is why we have a negative connotation when we speak about pressure and going down. So this is something only for our human point of view, from our human point of perception. This is something that in the universe doesn't exist. In the universe, all these words of being low, gravity, pressure, all of those concepts, they don't have a concept of negativity. Even negative is something that doesn't have any sense for the universe as something bad. So from the point of view of Earth, these have a negativity point of view, but negative point of view, but if we go to the universe, it doesn't have it anymore. So this explains why we need pressure in our lives, because pressure is the key for existence. So that's why we reproduce by pressure, we are born by pressure, we live our lives culturally, emotionally, in education, in jobs, under pressure. Our family puts pressure, the religion puts pressure, everything around puts pressure on us. Even blood pressure, atmospheric pressure, breathing, everything is something of pressure. Sometimes we forget that the most easiest things that makes us be what we are, like breathing, like heartbeat, are due to pressure. We are alive because of pressure. And we are here existing because of the pressure of the atoms of hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, and oxygen. As you are in the surface, above, in the surface of the world, as much above you are, the connections of the particles in your atoms are. So you live in the surface and it's more spread. And as you go deeper to the core of a world or to a core of a sun, so the space of the particles will be closer and being together, pressing one to each other. Just now imagine that, for example, this is the distance that I have between an electron and a proton in my body. Because of pressure, if I go under the earth, going lower and lower and lower, the pressure will be closer because of gravity until it gets very close and touch. When they touch, they create the same energy, like the fusion. So it's like the core of a sun, creating a lot of energy. Too much pressure. This is why also for the astronauts, for example, that goes in the outer space, they get all their slower than people on the earth because they start to expand. Not much gravity. So this makes us understand that when you have something really expanded, there's no need to transform because everything is floating softly. But as closer it gets, much more transformation, much more speed. So transformation. This is why transformation can only be lived under a lot of pressure. So this, when you have these two particles, so remember, transformation means to change your forms, to be able to go beyond your forms. And in order to do that, you need for your atoms to be able to change, to modify its position. So an atom that doesn't change its position because it's relaxed will never transform. So in order to transform, they need to get closer, to be pressed, to have pressure. And that's how these two different energies starts to move faster and faster and change. So this is why we may have heard the sentence, "We are diamonds in raw." And this is because we are made of the same thing of a diamond. Diamonds are made up with carbon. We are carbon. So, but our carbon is organized in a very wide and relaxed way compared to the pressure of the carbon of a diamond. Okay? So that's the only difference, is the pressure. So maybe if we want to become diamonds, what we would have to do is to go maybe like 30 kilometers underground, but just with a t-shirt, and let's see. What we have to understand from all of this is that when we are talking about pressure and we say, I don't want to feel this pressure anymore, what we have to acknowledge is that pressure is the thing that is trying to make us change, to transform ourselves. Without pressure, we wouldn't be able to transform ourselves in a physical world. So talking about pressure, now we find out that we have two different ways in which we can live pressure. One is by consciousness and the other one by the unconscious. By consciousness, it means that you take the pressure and you put a goal on it. You know that it's for your greatest good, that you are going to use that pressure to transform and to evolve. In the unconscious way, you suffer. Suffering is the choice of the unconscious person, that has no clue of why that person is living the pressure. That's why we can say that suffering is a choice. But for sure you have heard that people saying suffering is only a choice, but it's not like, okay, if it's a choice, I choose now not to suffer, and I don't want to suffer anymore. I choose that. It's not how it works. Basically, that's not the way. Because when you say, I don't want to suffer, that won't be a way out. The way out of suffering would be to acknowledge why I am living what I am living. What is the reason? What is the goal of the things that I am living? and try to put a meaning on the things that you live. Okay, and that's what will take you out from suffering. And this would be the logic of pressure. The vibration for today is cho. The statement for today is I am the universal emptiness. The quote for today, conscious integration. Just as I have become aware of the integration process, when instead of eradicating what I sensed that was stopping me, I use these tools, forces, patterns with a common objective, coherent, and with a specific purpose, focusing in knowing that I am the final product of all that, and denying it is nothing more than denying myself. I focus on my breathing. And softly, I start to massage and caress my body, starting from the crown to my feet. As I do this, I talk to my body, saying to it that everything that I am doing is for its greatest good. And I picture myself surrounded by a forest full of trees, and I walk inside of it through the trees, listening to the birds and insects. As I walk inside of this forest, it starts to become like a rainforest. Each time more and more darker. In the middle of this rainforest, I find this huge tree that with its branches and leaves covers all the sky. And from above, thousands of little rays of light from the sun come through the leaves like stars. I get closer to the tree and touch the trunk, caressing its crust as I lay down in between its roots, watching the sky. I recognize that this is the tree of life. This is the great tree of the universe. All of the stars, the planets, the galaxies, they all coexist within this tree. And I am part of it. I've become one of its roots, being absorbed by the mud around me. I feel the mud swallowing my body. My legs and feet, my hands and arms, my entire body, the chest, back, shoulders, neck, and my head, letting only my nose and eyes out. I absorb all the nutrients of this tree. And I recognize I am part of this universe. I feel the pressure of my body, the pressure of the mud, earth, and roots pushing me with all its weight towards the ground. And I recognize I am the product of all pressure in the universe. And I recognize that this is the same pressure that allows my inner seed to grow up, to flower. I find and picture this seed within me, and how the pressure of the mud, the water and earth, the universal tree and the roots press towards it. I feel the pressure on the seed, and I start to sing, activating its light. I am the universal emptiness. I am the universal emptiness. I am the universal emptiness. And as I become aware that this void is watering the seed, I begin to bring this mud all over my body, caressing, touching, spreading it on my skin. And I recognize that I am water and earth, I am mud, humus, for I am human. And I come back here and now. Thank you everybody for being there, and as always, see you tomorrow for the news. Thank you.